GM, thank you to everyone that is tuning in right now. Let's wait like 4 minutes. I think that's too long. Let's wait like a minute for everyone to join in. And today we have Hungry Wolves. So just let's give a quick intro of Adam and tell us a bit about yourself while everyone joins in.
Yeah, sure. Well, thanks for having me. This is exciting. I can't
Thank you
get
for coming
over
on.
seeing our hungry wolves and my ape in voxel form. This is just incredibly cool. A little bit about me. I guess you'd call me at this point a serial entrepreneur if you had to put a label on it. I've been starting and growing and even selling companies for a very long time. Most notably, I founded a gamification software company in Austin, Texas that we grew, through several $1 million of fundraising. It's hundreds of customers, and it was acquired by Microsoft in 2015. After that, I joined a medical education company as their fourth employee here in Austin. Grew that to well over 100 through a $25 million VC fundraise, and I got really heavily involved into crypto and NFTs and metaverse last year, seemingly like a lot of folks in our space, and have spent a lot of time not just investing personally and getting involved in communities, but launching a variety of my own projects and collections. And Hungry Wolves was the very first of those.
Okay, sounds like you've been through a lot. That's for sure. So for someone who has had so much experience building businesses, which part about NFTs got you excited?
Yeah, when I quote unquote got into NFTs, and technically my first NFT was a crypto kitty that I minted like 4.5 years ago, and so at least I can have that in my wallet as my badge of honor that
You're
I
a
was
veteran.
extremely early. But if I'm being very honest, I didn't know what it was at the time. I thought it was a fun kind of gimmick to create this token inside of my Ethereum wallet, and I've been buying Ethereum and Bitcoin for a very long time. But what happened last year was I became aware of this concept of buying land in a metaverse. And the first one that I was exposed to was Decentraland. And so I, made my way onto Decentraland, and I decided, I'm going to buy a plot of land. This is pretty cool. And so I did. And then the next day I had buyer's remorse because I saw another plot that I was like, oh, I should have bought this one instead.
Okay.
And so I put the first one up for sale, and it sold that very same day for $4,000 more than I had paid for it. Nice. And I said to myself, when I raised an eyebrow, I was like, wonder if I could do that again. And so then I bought the other plot of land, but then I said, what the hell? And I threw it up for several $1,000s more than I paid for it. And the next day it sold. And that was the moment where I said, all right, I got to learn more about what's actually happening here. This was all fun and games, but it seems that there's something actually occurring. And so that was when I started doing just a tremendous amount of research into NFTs and, of course, generative projects. And I, gained exposure to Bored Ape Yacht Club. And it kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, oh my God, NFTs represent infallible proof of ownership of a digital asset. And then I started just spinning, all the different implications that could have for a variety of different markets, not just, collectibles or art or, even metaverse land, but, things that, we haven't really even touched yet inside of our space. And that was when I started getting really passionate about it. And of course, at that point I, started buying up lots of different NFTs, and I bought my ape and, got involved in a variety of communities. And as I went through that whole process, what I started recognizing is that the majority of people that were starting projects were either developers and they could build really cool stuff, or they were artists and they could, build really beautiful things. Yeah. But not a lot of the people that I had interacted with had really any level of business experience. And what I looked at was, if you throw up a mint page and you generate millions of dollars and make promises to thousands of people, then what do you know? You've just started a company, and those are real commitments. And it means that you really need to understand how to deliver and, how to do sales and marketing and, development and project management and communications and PR and all these other things that I fortunately have a lot of experience with the companies that I've founded and generated, fundraising for and sold off. And, the time I spent at Microsoft as their director of gamification. And so I decided if I'm really passionate about this space and I'm really excited about it, then I don't just want to invest my ETH, I want to invest my time. And the very first step I took towards doing that was with two co-founders, the Big Bad Wolf, who is not doxed, and so I'll use his avatar name, as well as a good friend of mine, Jimmy. We founded Hungry Wolves, which we'll, of course, talk a lot more about today.
Yeah, definitely. And just curious, which industry do you think NFTs will disrupt next that it hasn't disrupted yet? I mean, I feel like it hasn't disrupted a lot of industries, but like medicine, for example, no one's talking about that yet.
Yeah, I think that the next frontier is starting to bridge the gap between digital assets and physical assets, and digital experiences and physical experiences. And so, the fact is that, you could get discounts in the real world off of very specific items by proving ownership of certain NFTs. Or your NFTs maybe should give you access to certain events like tickets or other kinds of benefits, in the real world. And you even look at what Twitter has done so far, and I think they've really kind of missed the opportunity here. But the integration that Twitter did, where you link your Ethereum wallet in a verified way with an account system, name and a password that is centralized, it gives you the ability now to pull up that app in a very verifiable way, and you could walk up to a cash register and prove that you own a very particular NFT, or walk up to an event and prove that you own a particular NFT. And I think there's just a lot of opportunity for that as we move forward. The other, of course, is the metaverse, and everybody talks about the metaverse, and you've got Facebook changing its name to Meta, and there's a lot of people that maybe even think they know what the metaverse is, but we are moving in the direction where inevitably we are going to have a digital virtual world where we can play and learn and interact and conduct commerce and do a lot of the things that you might otherwise do in the real world, very much like how social media got introduced, 16, 17 years ago. And I think that that's a frontier that will continue to change and evolve, but I really could see it having a dramatic impact on the way that we socially interact online and digitally compared to the more remedial ways that we do so today.
You're getting me all excited. I mean, I'm already an NFT maxi, but I feel like I want to spend all my Ethereum now. But yeah, let's talk about
I have that impact on people sometimes. I have to be careful what I say.
Yes, we've got 82 people listening. They're gonna spend all their money after this. But yeah, let's talk about Hungry Wolves. Let's give us a background. Could you give us a background of the project?
Yeah, let's do it. So the software company that I founded and then sold to Microsoft was a gamification company. And so, gamification as a term for those, maybe not familiar, is applying game mechanics and reward mechanics to something that otherwise maybe wouldn't be a game for the purposes of, motivation and incentivization. And so the company that I had was called Fantasy Sales Team, and it was all about allowing employees of companies to earn points for things that they were metriced on. And so you take a traditional sales team, maybe they could earn points for every phone call they make, or every email they send, or every contract they sign, or every percentage point they hit above quota. And, we were displaying leaderboards around an office. We were allowing other employees to draft fantasy teams of the sales reps so that they could become invested in their success. And that product is now embedded into Microsoft Dynamics, which is the second largest CRM after Salesforce. And so as salespeople or customer service agents are logging activities into the CRM, they're simultaneously playing an interactive game and can earn rewards against it. And so I learned a lot through that experience about really turning things into games and how to motivate people and how to excite them to get involved in those kinds of things. And so I started talking to my co-founders about, look at these traditional, NFT generative projects. Well, what if we could add real game mechanics behind this? And what if we could, really allow people to join the equivalent of guilds or clans like they would in a more traditional MMO, what we call wolf packs inside of Hungry Wolves. And look, there's a lot of projects that have added game mechanics since, but 6 months ago when we were talking about this was a very novel idea. The majority of NFT projects at that point were just, cartoon animals that you would collect for the sake of, hoping they'd go up in value based on speculative pricing. And so what Hungry Wolves is a collection of 6,000 generative NFTs. They are 3D modeled based on actual rigged models. And so we really are very proud of the art that we've put into this project and the dynamic nature of it. We really appreciate that. And so it is a traditional generative project in the sense that there are, millions of combinations of, different traits, whether it be, hat or shirt or fur color or item or tail or, jewelry or otherwise. And so when you get one of your wolves, it has a trait that is very distinct to it, which is its rank, either alpha or beta. And so half of our wolves, 3,000, are alpha wolves and half are beta wolves. And once you get access to one of your wolves, you can enter into what we call the wolf den, and you can select your wolf pack. And so there are 10 wolf packs, each aligned to the traits of the wolves themselves. And so this means that if you have a wolf that, looks particularly evil, maybe it can join the dark pack, or you have a gold fur wolf, maybe it can join the gold pack, or one with a party hat and a funny face, he can join the party pack. And so the whole idea here was that we wanted to create micro community. What I came to the recognition of, early on in NFTs is that you buy into some of these projects and then you enter into the Discord and it's this like endless stream of chat. And that's all great. Everybody feels like it's a community. But at least for me, in a lot of those communities, I didn't feel like I was really building friendships or like familiar relationships. I felt like I was just in this big community where everybody was, let's go, let's drive the price up, that's great. But I wanted it to feel a little more like at least the experiences I had playing World of Warcraft and EverQuest, where you join a guild and you start feeling like these people are almost family to you. Like, you're spending hours a day, you're learning about them and, members of their family and what they're doing outside of the game. And we really wanted to create that kind of atmosphere. And so the idea was, let's take the thousands of people, maybe down to dozens or hundreds, where you can really start feeling like you have a connection with those folks. And so when you join a wolf pack, it creates an immediate Discord role where you then unlock channels that otherwise are not available to you. And this is all, again, based on your ownership of that particular wolf. And so if you then go and sell that wolf on OpenSea, then you're going to essentially be deactivated and kicked out of that particular wolf pack until you go in and join another. And so people do collect wolves based on their very specific traits because of the pack that they want to join. And we've even seen, to some extent, these packs take on, a entire brand of their own. And so several of them have created their own Twitter channels and their own Discord, groups otherwise. And, they buy up wolves with certain traits that they then try to convince people to buy when they think they want to get into the project, because they want to bring more people into wild pack or dark pack or whatever it is. And so that's been really exciting for us to watch. Now, the next gamified piece of this is that every wolf, every full moon in real life, which happens roughly every 29 and a half days, so call it once a month, we do an airdrop of what we call scrumptious sheep and little lambs. And these are 3D NFTs, very similar in look and feel to our wolves and quality.
They look delicious.
They do look delicious, don't they? And so if you're an alpha, you go out and hunt on the full moon and you get scrumptious sheep. You can go out and get the kind of larger prey. And if you're a beta wolf, then you don't have the same hunting prowess as your alpha wolves. And so you go out and hunt little lambs, which are baby sheep. And if you look at the traits of these NFTs when they're dropped into your wallet, you'll see that they have a single trait called dominance. And that is a amount of, call it points or currency, however you look at it, that you will generate if you eat and consume that NFT. And so there are 5 different rarities of scrumptious sheep and 5 different rarities of little lambs. And so of the 3,000 of each, every month you can log in and see, well, what did I hunt this month? And some month, maybe you get a common scrumptious sheep and it's only worth 20 dominance. Or maybe you get really lucky and you get a mythical scrumptious sheep and it's worth 100 dominance. And these are tradable, sellable NFTs that have their own collections on OpenSea. And you can sell it if you want to, or you can keep it for collectible purpose. Or, of course, next phase is you can eat it. And so you can also go into our wolf den and use the eat sheep function. And it allows you to select one of your wolves and select a variety of sheep or lambs that you have inside of that same wallet, and you can consume them. And if you consume them, it burns the NFTs, and then you earn dominance directly to that wallet. And that's pretty exciting for us. We actually just went live with the feature to actually eat the sheep last week. And so now you can start earning dominance in the context of the game. But what can you do with dominance? Well, next month, we're releasing the feature for wolf pack competitions, which means that as you eat your sheep with your primary wolf that's in your wolf pack, you will simultaneously be having that amount roll up to a total for your entire pack for that given month. That means your pack is going to be able to compete against other packs and earn rewards accordingly. We are going to be rolling out a feature shortly that allows you to wager your dominance to challenge other wolves inside of the project. And so I could take my hungry wolf and I could say, I challenge this hungry wolf based on this token ID. And then they get that challenge. If they accept it inside of the wolf den, then a determination will be made as to the winner, and dominance will be moved from one wallet to the other wallet accordingly. If a beta wolf challenges an alpha wolf and the alpha accepts, and the beta wins the challenge, the metadata traits will swap, and the beta wolf will become an alpha wolf, and the alpha wolf becomes a beta. And there's a real risk and reward mechanism that exists there, where you might be able to get a lot of dominance as an alpha wolf because you don't have to wager nearly as much in accepting that challenge, and you have a much higher degree chance of winning. But if you lose, then the trait swaps. That means the next month when the full moon comes up, you're now earning the little lamb instead of the scrumptious sheep, and the alpha is now getting the scrumptious sheep, which inherently are worth more dominance. Those battles are going to be very public in the sense that we're going to announce them live through a bot in the Discord. And when a beta wolf beats an alpha, it'll be announced live on Twitter via a bot so that everybody can kind of celebrate or commiserate or whatever it is. And you could imagine this creating an atmosphere where packs are rooting for members of their pack to take on alpha traits or to, win these different challenges. And so we're really pretty excited about that. And then finally, we're releasing the ability subsequent, and it's in our white paper, all this is outlined with dates and commitments, the ability for you to use your dominance in a store-like fashion to upgrade the visual traits of your hungry wolves. And so maybe you have a normal gold crown, but you want it to be a diamond crown. Or maybe you have a singular regular trash can and you want it to become an inverted trash can. And what's going to happen is that you go to this section of the wolf den and you can use the dominance you've earned to essentially invest into your NFT and change the visual traits of it permanently. And that's really exciting because you'll be able to then go on OpenSea and see which wolves actually have augmented traits already invested into them with dominance. And hypothetically, maybe those wolves have more value over time. And so we're really, really excited about creating this whole ecosystem where you come in, you buy a wolf that is either an alpha or a beta. Based on its traits, it can join a wolf pack, and then you have, members of that pack that are really there for you and rooting you on. From there, you can then earn these airdrops automatically every single month. You then can utilize that dominance by eating the sheep to earn dominance in your wallet that you can wager in challenging other wolves, that you can use to earn for your wolf pack in earning more global rewards, that you can then, of course, upgrade traits for. And what you're showing on the screen now are runts. And so this is something we're really proud of. We released a brand new collection about a month ago called runts, which are baby wolves. They are the exact same quality, 3D rigged models as our hungry wolves. There are millions of combinations of runts. But the great thing about runts is that they are completely free and they always will be. And so what I wanted to create was an entry point, not just for the Hungry Wolves project, but for anybody that wants to get into NFTs. I want them to have an amazing first experience. I want them to get into a Discord with genuinely helpful, credible people that will answer their questions and show them what it's like to join a project that actually has real community built behind it and a team that is executing on their promises. And so you can go and mint a runt right now, completely free, only pay gas. And it's a generative NFT, rarity and otherwise. And with the runts, you can participate in a lot of the same game mechanics. So you can immediately go in and join a wolf pack. So fantastic. Let's do it. Yeah. You can eat sheep and little lambs. The caveat is that runts don't earn them. And so they're far too small and scrappy to go out and hunt every full moon. And so that means that if you want to eat sheep or lambs, you have to get them from your pack mates or buy them on the secondary market. So you can participate in mechanics. You can even, upgrade traits like you see here in future, mechanics that we'll go live with. The difference is that the runts are somewhat reliant on the hungry wolves to be able to participate on the same level. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So can anyone mint a runt, or do they
Anyone.
need a hungry wolf?
No,
Okay.
you do not. Runts are for everyone. You can go right now, this very moment, and you can mint as many runts as you want. You only pay gas. We will not be charging for them. They are 0 ETH. They show up in your wallet. You can immediately log into our Discord. You can get a role for being a runts holder. You can go into the wolf den and join a wolf pack based on the traits of the runts that are in your wallet. And then you can start participating. And the hope is, of course, that you like the project enough that maybe you want to upgrade, so to speak, and go and grab one of our sold out wolves off of secondary. But even if you just want to participate as a runts, we are thrilled to have you and bring you into the community.
Yeah, that's a great way to reduce the barrier of entry to hungry wolves. So with the runs, it sounds like players can do anything except earn airdrops. Am I right?
There's 2 caveats, and this is all outlined, by the way, in our white paper. We go through a lot of depth and detail about the way all these mechanics work. But runts cannot earn airdrops, and so that means they can't go out and hunt their own sheep and lambs. And then the second is that they will not be able to participate in challenges, and so they are too small and fragile to challenge other wolves in that regard. But
so no PvP.
They can, no PvP, but they can join wolf packs. They can eat sheep and lambs if they end up having them in their wallet through other means from airdrops. They can upgrade traits at a later function, and they even can participate in wolf pack competitions and contribute to their overall pack. And so highly recommend anybody that, gets into this. Our white paper is about a 10 or 15 minute read, but it's a lot of depth and detail behind the different functions of the project. And I saw the question. Yes, it is an Ethereum NFT, although it is on Polygon.
Okay, cool. And
I take it back. I'm sorry. The sheep and lambs are on Polygon. The runts and wolves are on Ethereum mainnet.
Okay. And what are the benefits of joining a wolf pack? Can you be a solo wolf?
You can definitely be a solo wolf. You do not have to join a wolf pack. But if you're not in a wolf pack, then you can't contribute to wolf pack competitions. And wolf pack competitions are going to be some of the best ways to earn dominance each month. And so other than that, there's no requirement to join a pack. You don't have to, but we highly encourage folks to take advantage of the kind of community aspect of the game.
Mm-hmm. Is it too soon to talk about Roadmap 2.0?
It is not. So we are building on NFT worlds right now. We did an AMA last week where we showed a live video of the hungry world that we have created with a verified master builder. We are extremely excited about it. It is a vast, immersive world of forest and farmland, and there's a gigantic castle with different rooms for each wolf pack, and a fire pit that has the different 10 logos around it, and a Hungry Wolves logo above it. And so this is going to be a vast world that you can go and experience, really via any device. And what we're going to be doing when it goes live is hundreds of sheep will be randomly showing up at different randomized locations all over the world of different rarity. And as you go into this hungry world, you will be able to walk up to these sheep and eat them and consume them. And if you do, you will earn points inside of the game, which will be shown on leaderboards. But if you earn enough points, there will be a conversion button where you'll be able to take the points you've earned and live mint NFTs of scrumptious sheep and little lambs to your wallet, which you can then go with our core mechanics into the wolf den and eat for actual dominance for the other mechanics. And so we've created little 8-bit versions of kind of Minecrafted sheep, little lambs and hungry wolves, scrumptious sheep that you'll be able to then earn live through our hungry world.
Yeah. And on the website, I believe it mentioned there's going to be a global leaderboard.
So we already have global leaderboards live for each sheep. And so you can go there right this very moment and you can see how many sheep each wallet has eaten. You can see the amount of dominance that each wallet has eaten. And that's there really more for fun right now. But over time, we will likely add reward mechanics into what we allow people to compete on, not just with their wolf pack, but individually.
It's a competition for who can eat the most sheep, huh?
You got it. We have people that have eaten hundreds of sheep already in just the first week, which is very, very incredible and amusing to me.
Yeah, I feel bad for the sheep.
Yeah,
So is the sheep gonna rise up and fight against the wolves?
We had actually talked about that in our future roadmaps, and so right now we're focused on really executing everything that we've committed to so far and making sure that all these mechanics work together cohesively. There's a lot of projects out there that are building on NFT worlds, but it'll be considered kind of very separate from the rest of their project. What we're doing is very integrated into the game mechanics of our ecosystem and what we're doing otherwise. And so we're really excited to get the Wolfpack competitions, the PvP, the upgrade mechanics live, to get our NFT world live. And something else that I can't talk about in detail today, but we have a partnership that is completely agreed to on the back end. I am told that it is guaranteed to proceed forward, where we're actually going to be participating in a build inside of the Sandbox as well. And so we're really excited that some real meaningful investment will be going into a Sandbox game to really complement our Hungry Wolves ecosystem. And so we will be a multi-metaverse project in addition to the core web game mechanics that have always been part of our roadmap.
Yeah. Someone said that Bethesda says he feels bad for the sheep, but yet also said that they look delicious. I mean, I don't have to eat them. I can just say they look delicious and not eat them.
So we actually have two collections. We have what we call Hungry Barn and Hungry Farm. And so every month, once a month, you get a sheep or lamb for every wolf you own from the Hungry Farm collection. And those are the 5 rarities of each type. They're designed to be eaten. But we also drop sheep and lambs regularly, at least once a month, to our holders from the Hungry Barn collection, which are really designed to be collected. The majority of them only earn you 1 dominance for eating them. And so they're not really designed to be eaten, but we just did an April Fool's sheep. We did a Christmas sheep. We did a New Year's sheep. And so the idea is that we want you to have some scrumptious sheep and little lambs in your wallet that you can hold on to and feel like they're collectible. We did one when the project minted out for everybody that held a wolf, at the moment that, the project minted. And so these are available. You can even buy a lot of them on secondary if you're excited about them. But those sheep that are in the barn are a little more safe, so to speak, from being eaten. And the hope is that people like collecting them and want to maintain them in their wallet, in addition to, of course, the ones that are meant to be more the economy of the game itself.
Yeah. And why did you decide to go with NFT Worlds and Sandbox?
Well, so anybody that follows me on Twitter knows that I am ridiculously, wildly bullish on NFT Worlds. I truly, truly do believe that it is the platform of what I believe is going to be the mainstream metaverse moving forward. For a variety of reasons, not the least of which is it's built on the Minecraft engine, which 170 million people already use every single month. It's accessible across a variety of devices, whether that be your Xbox, your PlayStation, your Oculus headset, in addition to your computer and otherwise. You can have gasless transactions with World Token, which means that you can be buying and selling and earning things inside of the world without ever even knowing that you're on the blockchain or having the traditional barriers or friction to needing to create an Ethereum wallet. I could go on and on. And so I'm very, very bullish on NFT Worlds as an interconnected, open metaverse platform where hundreds, thousands of companies, people, projects will be building, and you can travel between them. You can have utility of NFTs between them, and you can have an economy based on World Token. And of course, our Hungry World will be a part of that. That being said, I am very much a fan of the idea that there are going to be multiple metaverse platforms that have a lot of success. And I see you've got our Hungry World up, which I'm very excited to obviously show people. But look, the same way that when social media came about 16, 17 years ago, and people might have asked, well, why would you want to be on a web page, making posts when you could just call someone, or, you could go over to somebody's house and hang out with them. And, now today, this is just a part of our everyday lives, but we don't just have one platform. We're not going to have, the Oasis from Ready Player One, at least not right out of the gate. And so we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Twitter, we have TikTok, we have LinkedIn, and they each have different reasons why you might spend time on those different platforms. I think it's going to be very similar with NFT World and Sandbox and Decentraland and Meta and, a variety of others, the Bored Ape Yacht Club, platform that'll, be going live. And so at the end of the day, I own land in the Sandbox. I'm also bullish on Sandbox. I think it's a great platform. When it goes live, I think it's going to be a really fun place to hang out and interact and do a lot of the same kinds of things that we talk about. But in the interim, NFT World is completely live. There are already live experiences that you can go and participate in and earn and spend world token. And we're really excited to be able to launch our Hungry World imminently, where people will be able to go in hopefully as soon as next month and be able to do all the things that we've promised.
Okay. It sounds like one of the reasons you're bullish on NFT World is because it has a easy onboarding process. You don't have to touch crypto. And I agree with that, but a lot of people think that people should learn how to use MetaMask and buy Ethereum and, learn to do crypto transactions. So what do you think about that opinion?
Well, look, I of course believe that myself. I'm very passionate about our space and NFTs, and I think everybody, should get an enough to be dangerous understanding of crypto and, security and all of the things that go with it. But let's also be honest with ourselves. It's very complicated, at least to a traditional person that might not be particularly tech savvy. It's ridiculously dangerous. There are tremendous numbers of hackers and scammers, and people don't know better when they join Discord for the first time and they get a message that looks like it comes from a project telling them to come in and mint something for free. And it takes a lot of discipline to really take the time to learn about this stuff to the point where you can use it effectively and use it safely. And I'm not saying that in the long run that blockchain should be completely hidden and in the background and no one should ever know that they're interacting with it. But I do think that that's a step in the right direction to get people onboarded. The idea of telling them that to jump into this world, that all they need to do is create a login and then boom, they're there, they're participating. They're even minting NFTs live to their wallet. They're earning world token as a currency and then spending world token in other ways. And the fact you can do all that on NFT Worlds without ever setting up a wallet, without ever knowing what MetaMask is, and it's all there automatically for you in the background. But then look, you can go to your profile and you can swap out the custodial automatically created wallet for your own Ethereum wallet. And then you can start doing things that go well beyond maybe the baseline features and functions if you have more familiarity and more of an understanding in doing so. And for me, that's the right step. There's 400,000 people that are on OpenSea every single month right now. There's 170 million people playing Minecraft. And so for me, what makes a metaverse is just massive scale and the open nature of just continuous evolving experiences and the ability to travel between them and the economic foundation that sit underneath it. And that's what separates a video game from a metaverse. And when I think of where I want to place my bets on what's going to be the mainstream metaverse, I like seeing the reduction in friction and the usage of a platform like Minecraft that's already usable and accessible and familiar to a much larger swath of people than some of the other platforms that are out there today.
Yeah. The frictionless entry is great because my friends would play NFT Worlds for that reason. But maybe like 4 or 5 months ago when Axie was in its prime and people could earn $30, $40 a day playing that game, I would tell my friends that, who didn't have a job at the time, by the way, they did not have a job. But after telling them that they have to create multiple accounts, multiple wallets, multiple exchange accounts, they're like, why do I need to do all this? And then they just never got to it. They just don't want to do it. They just don't want to do it. So.
You think of it like a traditional marketing funnel. You put up an advertisement and then a certain percentage of people you advertise to will click on it. And a certain percentage of those people will read the landing page. And a certain percentage of those will fill out the form. And a certain percentage of those will pick up the phone. And a certain percentage of those will actually talk to you about your product or whatever it is. But you have drop off at every single point there. It's the same thing asking to onboard somebody into crypto. You tell them to install MetaMask, but are they actually going to go and do it? And then once they do, now they have to figure out how to buy Ethereum. Well, most cases, if they want to buy enough, they've got to go to an exchange. Then they've got to go through the, know your customer process, and they got to upload their driver's license and everything else. Then they got to connect their bank account. Then they have to make the transfer. Then they have to go and buy Ethereum. Then they have to go and transfer it into MetaMask. Then they have to figure out how to use OpenSea. And there's all these drop-off points where this is why we don't have mainstream adoption yet of NFTs. Now, when Coinbase maybe eventually one day goes live with their promised marketplace, we hope, they have 68 million monthly active users. If there's a button that appears inside of your Coinbase wallet to start buying NFTs, that's pretty freaking exciting. Those people are already onboarded through a lot of the initial steps. So again, the friction gets reduced in a meaningful way. And so that's what excites me. It's not that Coinbase will be better or worse than OpenSea, although let's be honest, it's very likely to be better. It'd be pretty hard to be worse. But at the end of the day, what excites me is not necessarily that. It's just that they have an opportunity to significantly reduce friction. And that to me is really exciting.
Yeah. Why do you think Bored Ape is so successful?
Bored Ape Yacht Club is one of the only NFT projects, and don't get me wrong, I'm in a variety of projects that I'm very passionate about. And so, I own, Cool Cats and Gutter Cat Gang and Azuki, and I could go on and on and on. I love those projects.
Wailing out here, huh?
What I would say is that Bored Ape Yacht Club is one of the only projects that I've experienced where the real value has nothing to do with the NFT. It really is about the connections and the community and the number of opportunities that have been presented to me, the number of incredibly just amazing people that I have met through Bored Ape Yacht Club have paid for what I spent on it, many, many multiple times over. And so a lot of the projects that I advise today, a lot of the, people that I've met that have gotten me involved in other things, whether it be, crypto projects, NFT projects, or even, more Web 2, traditional companies, it's just amazing to me. And so for me, it really is much more about access to the people that are part of the project and making sure that I take the time and energy to get the value out of that maybe I wouldn't as much in some of the other projects that I'm buying, either more speculatively or because of a more distinct roadmap or otherwise. And so, of course, Bored Ape Yacht Club has a roadmap. Of course, they've got Ape Fest and Ape Coin and mutants and dogs and everything else. But for me, the reason I hold my ape, I don't even look at the prices of apes really anymore because I don't think I could ever sell mine. It's part of my digital identity. And the reason I choose that as part of my own personal digital identity compared to a lot of other projects is because it's one of the projects where I feel that sense of connection and community and value and, camaraderie that, I would like to think exist in some other projects, but I think are at varying degrees.
Yeah. I mean, it's just insane to me what they've done in 8-9 months. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's it's partially skill, it's partially luck, it's partially timing, it's partially art. There's a variety of things I think that have gone into why that particular
everything combined
has gone to where it has today. But I continue to remain, of course, extremely bullish on that, and what they'll do with other side and the metaverse, and we'll have to wait and see.
Cool. And is there any lore to Hungry Wolves? Sorry about that Bored Ape tangent. I just felt like I needed
that's okay. I'm always happy to talk about apes. The Lord of Hungry Wolves, really is more of the fact that, it's a bunch of, these really cool, unique wolves that all have their own traits and own sort of feeling behind them that are banding together to accomplish, larger goals, which is, being able to find and hunt, larger amounts of these, sheep and lambs. And we'll build more of the storyline, I think, over time as we continue with our roadmap. But, the one thing that I think if you asked anybody about this project, about me or the Big Bad Wolf or Jimmy as our founders, is that we're very transparent. We stand in front of the project, for the most part, doxed, and we do what we say we're going to do. And so when we put a roadmap together and we write it out in our white paper, this is going to happen. We don't care what it's going to take to get it to happen. If we commit to doing something, this is what is going to transpire. And so we take our commitments and our transparency to our community very seriously. And for that, I think the community appreciates it. And we have a lot of just amazing, amazing people that are now part of this community that, you know, very much like what we always envisioned. I mean, I'll give you an example. We had somebody that got hacked a couple of weeks ago, and they noticed, and that hacker put their wolves up for sale at the floor. And there was one that they were just really attached to. One of our other members bought it. They spent hundreds of dollars on it, and then they just transferred it right back into that member's wallet. This is somebody who doesn't know them in real life, and they just wanted them to be able to continue to be part of the community, and they, you know, took that step on their behalf. We have these things called Werewolf Coins, which exist in the collection. There's 10 of them that were randomly minted. Each one of them can be redeemed to spend time with our 3D designers to create a custom one-of-one Hungry Wolf based on your own specifications. And we had the very first redemption last week, and we brought them onto the AMA, and they showed it. And they told, you know, a 10-minute story about just, you know, this amazing, you know, thing that happened to them where, you know, they didn't, you know, have, you know, a relationship in their life. You know, they were divorced and had one child, but then met, you know, the woman that was, you know, right for them. And they had 2 additional children, but, you know, their father had unfortunately passed away. And, you know, his one-of-one coin that he redeemed was his wolf with, you know, arms around 3 little runts reading a storybook with, you know, their, you know, dead father's initials carved into the tree, you know, behind it. You know, there's a variety of other elements that are inside of this NFT. And, you know, he presented this to our community as like, this is now his forever NFT. It's really, really meaningful. And so, yes, to the question that just came up, if you buy a werewolf coin from OpenSea, you then redeem that with us to create any wolf you want. And it is not by any means like, I just want one with the gray fur and, you know, crown and other combinations. You get to work directly with our 3D artists and animators to build something that is truly unique to you, traits that are not part of the rest of the collection.
Yeah, that's amazing. The story was very wholesome. I love that. And about being able to work with the art team, I don't think any other project has done that before. So that's amazing.
We
I
would
need
love for you to create a Batman wolf. I see the questions popping up.
So are you able to talk about who does the artwork?
Yeah, so one of the co-founders, the Big Bad Wolf, unfortunately, as desperately as he wants to dox himself, he's not legally allowed from the company that he works
Oh,
for.
wow. Okay.
You all would be ridiculously impressed if you knew who this was in real life, but we'll leave it at that. But he takes care of all of the art. And so he works with an amazing team of 3D animators and graphic designers that work behind the scenes of the project. They're in the Discord. They talk to the community as well. But we're really, really proud of what we do. I mean, the art for this project, if I do say so myself, is just completely next level compared to what I think you find most of the time in traditional generative NFTs.
Yeah, the artwork is amazing. And
Thank
how big is the team?
So right now we have just under a dozen people that are working in a variety of capacities on the project. And so we've got a handful of developers and folks that are coding our, you know, functions. We of course have the founders, and, you know, Jimmy's doing all of our contract work and blockchain work. We have some of these designers and folks that are, you know, doing the artwork and, you know, generative collections like runts and, you know, new traits for the next version of runts that we'll go live with, you know, in the next coming months. We, you know, have folks that are inside of the Discord doing community management and otherwise. And oh man, I am a huge Breaking Bad fan and a huge Heisenberg fan. I would love for you to do that. Please buy a coin.
I can't imagine what that would look like.
Oh, I can. I'd want to be on that brainstorming call. I've seen every episode of Breaking Bad at least 3, maybe 4 times. I'm a big fan of the series.
Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, I like it too, but I watched it once.
Oh no, there's all sorts of hidden depth behind it. You need to watch it at least 3 times.
There's so many shows.
I would never have time to do that today, but at the time Breaking Bad was out, I had a little more free time to watch some more TV in my life. It's been many years since I've
good old days
to binge like that.
outside of the Sandbox and NFT world, are there any collabs that you're working on?
Well, the partnership that I want to talk about but can't yet is related to Sandbox, but also related outside of it. And so that's all I can say at the moment. But no, there's no other active collaborations for our project. I don't want to say we're not open-minded to them, but we also, don't necessarily, subscribe to the whole idea of, just trying to throw whitelist opportunities at every corner just for the sake of doing it. It needs to be a project that is aligned to what we're doing and have some interaction beyond the idea of, just getting involved in another NFT. I am also the co-founder of White Sands Game, which is a pretty major project on NFT worlds, master plan real estate and experiences and otherwise. And we have made some commitments that Hungry Wolves holders will have some unique utility inside of that world at a point moving forward.
Okay, cool. And I'm guessing you cannot talk about the plan for the Sandbox for the next year or two?
I can't talk about it yet. What I can say is it's going to be very exciting. It is not just Hungry Wolf that will be part of it. That I think the larger scheme interactive experience that will be built is going to be very, very interesting and unique in the context of what most folks are doing so far.
Cool. I'm excited to see what you guys are building. And are there any other NFT projects out there right now that inspires you? So, for example, maybe you see something they're doing, you're like, okay, that's cool. Maybe I could implement that into Hungry Wolves in our own way.
Oh man, I'm into so many different projects that I have such respect for, and I was having beer with the founder of Lazy Lions, Asher, a couple of weeks ago, and I just love what they're doing with that project and the community that they've built. I love what Cool Cats is doing with their gamification features in Cooltopia, hopefully, which will go live shortly. Gutter Cat Gang, huge respect for that whole team and all the innovation that they're putting behind it and their artwork and otherwise. I mean, of course, Bored Ape Yacht Club. I feel like I'm accepting some award on stage now, and I need to list all the projects that I love to pieces. I know that there's so many that I could never name. Most of all, NFT Worlds and ArcDev and Temp Tranquil and what those guys are doing for the foundation of a metaverse. I don't know. I'll leave it at that. Otherwise, I'll be here all day listing off, 3 dozen projects that I invest in and why. That's a conversation for a longer day.
So you get your inspiration from everywhere.
I like to immerse myself in the space very deeply. There's lots of projects that I respect and dig into that I don't own. I don't have enough ETH to buy everything that I would ever want inside of the space, but I'm in lots of Discords. I try to meet with co-founders and it's how I expose myself to what's happening in the market, both as an investor as well as a project founder. And it's how we hopefully stay ahead of the curve, because I don't like, trying to reach a bar. I like setting a bar. I like doing things that are special and unique compared to what's being done otherwise, and really pushing boundaries. And I think we continue to do that with Wolves. I'm definitely doing that with, my metaverse with White Sands Game and, on top of NFT Worlds that, of course, is doing that every single day.
Yeah. Okay. And for my last question, what can people look forward to in Hungry Wolves over the next few months?
So the biggest hurdle that we had was this eat sheep function, the ability to go in and choose your wolves and choose your sheep and devour them and burn the NFTs and earn dominance and have it attributable in the database to specific wolves and specific wolf packs that lay the foundation for everything else. And so now that that's done, we expect we're going to move relatively rapidly through Wolfpack competitions and then challenges and PvP. We're going to have our Hungry World up in the coming months and have the ability, of course, for you to mint NFTs live as rewards from that world directly to your wallet. Subsequent to that, the ability to use dominance to upgrade visual traits. There's a lot to be excited about. And so we're working here. We are cooking on the back end. And every day we wake up and try to figure out how we add value. We've got this partnership that'll lead to, what we'll do in the Sandbox happening in parallel to all that. And, look, if I'm being so bold as to say, and, I don't want it to sound like I'm up here shilling my project, buy my book. But at the end of the day, for the floor price that Alpha Wolves and Beta Wolves are at right now, compared to the value that we're delivering, if I were just an outside investor, I think I'd personally be pretty excited about And
Okay.
so that's my humble 2 cents for what it's worth. But we welcome people to come into the project, whether it's through minting runts for free, whether it's just joining the Discord to learn about it, or of course, whether it's buying into the project. And we'd be excited to have you in any capacity.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I think that's pretty much about it. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
No, I just really appreciate y'all inviting me. I've been watching these for a while. I think the hub that you guys have built for SandStorm is just delightful. The work that you guys did to create a voxel version of my ape and several hungry wolves, and what we've been doing and seeing in the background here, I mean, it's just incredible to me. And I'm very bullish on the metaverse in general, and that we're going to be interacting in worlds more like this moving forward. And really honored that you guys had me on today. So thanks for the opportunity.
And thank you for coming on. I had a great time speaking to you, and I hope the audience enjoyed this as well. And that's pretty much about it. Have a great day or have a great night wherever you're watching from. Peace out.
Thanks, y'all.